Hello, welcome to Edify, your B2B solution expert. Edify provides a ready-to-use EDI capability for vendors or suppliers and customers who are currently performing their B2B transactions manually. It also helps large companies to onboard their suppliers who do not have an EDI platform and application of their own, and would want to enable them to transact messages electronically. Now, you need to log in as an admin. This is our homepage. The inbox section contains your inbound transactions. The outbox section contains your outbound transactions, followed by its details. For reporting purposes, transaction count, transaction by status, and transaction by message type. With this we conclude the features of our homepage.
In this video we shall see how to create a purchase order. Let us go to the Create tab. Now select PO. Once the PO page is open we can choose the vendor or supplier which was already created. Let us select the vendor name in the list. Now the supplier details will be fetched into PO Details tab. We can generate a new purchase order by clicking Generate button. Once the PO number is generated we can key in other details. And the address details are also auto-filled, such as built to address, shipped to address, which can either be same as built to address, or we can add a different address, followed by its details. Sold to address, which can either be same as built to address, or we can add a different address, followed by its details. And seller address, followed by its details. Now in additional details. Fill the payment terms and special conditions. Moving on to item details. Select the item name, and enter the other details. On entering quantity, price will be auto-calculated. Next is the delivery information. Enter its details. Now click on Add Item to add. Here we can see that new item details added to the list. Under the total price, the total tax amount is automatically generated and added to the total amount. Now click on Create to generate a new purchase order. Now we have successfully generated new purchase order. Also, we can draft a purchase order by clicking on the Draft button. This lets us store the purchase order in the draft list, which is displayed on top of this page. The draft can be edited at a later time. Apart from draft we also have feature called PO copy, where we can replicate the previous successfully completed PO by making necessary changes in items. Now let's see how to achieve the same. Click on Outbox followed by PO copy and actions. This will take us to PO page. We have to generate new PO number and make necessary changes in item and create PO.
Now let's see how the PO is reflected in supplier or vendor portal. Let us log into supplier portal now. Let us go to the inbox tab. Here we can see the PO received. Now the vendor can acknowledge based on the stock availability. This can be done in actions by selecting acknowledgement. Now let us log into our previous portal and check the status of the PO.
Once we log in is successful, click on the Outbox button. Now we can see the acknowledgement reflected in the tabular format. For more details click on the document number which gives the complete details of PO which can be printed or saved in PDF. We also have provision to change the PO quantity and delivery date. Just by clicking on PO change we can modify the necessary changes and update. This option is available only before ASN is generated.
Now let us know how to create ASN. Once the supplier acknowledges the PO based on the stock availability, the supplier can create ASN by clicking Create and choose ASN. This will take us to ASN page where we can enter the ASN details, like package details and carrier details. Once the details are filled we can create ASN. We also have provision for partial ASN.
Now let's see the ASN details in Customer Portal. By navigating to Inbox page we can see all the documents. By clicking on document number it will take us to ASN details page. This details can also be printed or saved into our system.
Once the ASN is completed, the invoice can be generated from supplier. This can be achieved by clicking on ASN to customer. Also it can be printed or saved to our system.
Now let us see how to track the status of the PO. Click on the timeline menu. Once the page is loaded we can see an option to select PO number. Once the PO number is selected, it will show the status of the PO. We can also archive the file to back up the data. This can be achieved by selecting the document by clicking on the checkbox. We also have provision to select all files by selecting checkbox in the header of table. Once the selection is done, click on the Archive button. Then the file will be moved to Archive folder, which we can view in Archive page and select the type of file. We also have provision to undo the archive. The same works for outbox data.
Now we have successfully completed the PO transaction.
We also have provision to bulk upload the details of all our suppliers. Click on Upload button and select the file which contains all the data in the defined format and select Submit.
Now we shall see the working of credit and debit note. This can be used only after invoice is generated. Once the invoice is generated and if there is any damage in the product dispatched, then click on the Create menu and select Debit or Credit Note and select the invoice number from the drop-down. Enter the valid reason and send debit note.
Now we shall see how it is reflected in the supplier portal. Click on Inbox and you can see the debit note. Click on document number for more details and click on Add comment to enter the comments. And click on the Send the Credit Note button. This will send the credit note.
By this we have come to end of video. Thank you for watching.